Hello, how are you guys? Happy Thursday. I hope you've had a good week. I wanted to do our next challenge today. So it is on technology and your child and the family and how technology works in your home. So let's not waste any time and let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. If I can remember how to do that. All right, here we go. So here we go, technology and your family. So one of the things that I think is really important about this is really kind of start to think about what your opinion is in regards to technology in your family. Do you think it's something good or do you think it's something bad? We can all agree, my glasses fell. We can all agree that technology can be both positive and negative. And actually I started out here with the first slide of the benefits. And as you know, there are a ton of benefits. It has made our world so much quicker. You can see down here on the list, the ease of access of information, it saves time, ease of mobility. I've learned that even in my private practice, being able to do telehealth sessions has been amazing. Better communication, it helps with the cost of things. Innovation in many fields, definitely in my field, it's changed things, especially after COVID. Improved banking, we can do that all from our phones now. Better learning techniques. It's funny, on the way to school today, my son needed to work on his math facts, and there's this math program he does, it's called Extra Math. And it's a 10-minute quick program, and we did it in the car, and we made it fun, and we did it driving. And so we've never been able to do that when I was a kid. So I think that's like a really cool benefit of technology, is just all of the things we can do at our fingertips. Now, with that being said, we can flip that to think about the things that are not the benefits, right? And the drawbacks. And you can see here, there are a ton of drawbacks. And I know you deal with those in your family and in your personal life. So data security, having stuff stolen from you because it's all out there. Crime, terrorism, the complexity of it, the confusion of understanding the different apps that kids are using, like Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is, or the games. I don't know if you guys have ever done Roblox, but it's confusing, especially if you're not using it all the time and you're trying to see what your kids are doing. Privacy concerns, social disconnect. Even though we do have all the social media platforms, that is all from a distance, right? So it's not seeing people person to person. The work overload. So I think that's really important for us as adults. We can take it home with us. We can take everything home with us because it's right there on our computer, on the web. The manipulation of media, which we've all been listening to for the past few years, of how media is manipulated. Things are told to us. Do we know if they're true? Do we know if they're false? It's hard to know. And if we don't know, our kids definitely don't know. Job insecurity, social isolation, and loneliness. I saw a lot of this during the pandemic with our teens. That was a really, really big issue. It still is a big issue. Job loss, negative impact on students, weapons and mass destruction, addiction issues. We can get into gaming with that, a lot of gaming stuff with teens and adults. Degradation of memory. So our memory is influenced by this because we're able to pick up stuff so quick, like we can't remember something, we can just Google it and see. So that's not as our memory working, it's now the phone doing it for us. And then just time, getting sucked in to the computer or into the social media or into Amazon or whatever it is, the time that's taken from us. So one of the really, really important things for us as an adult in dealing with things in our family is balance. Everything is balance, because as we just talked about, the drawbacks and the benefits, it's really figuring out how to balance that in your home. And that is you. And this kind of goes back to the other two sessions I did. And you're the adult, you're the pilot, you're the person that is keeping track of everything going on in your house. So you're setting the guidelines. You're paying attention to what's going on. You're being the role model. You're not sitting at dinner on your phone looking through Instagram or shopping on Amazon while you're watching TV. You're actually focused on whatever the event is you're doing at that time. And so I think a lot of this is going to be us, me included, sitting back and thinking, how am I using technology in my house? What am I doing? Am I being purposeful? Am I paying attention to my child, or am I on the phone looking at what somebody's written about their child? Like, what am I doing? How am I being the role model? Because all of our kids are watching us. We did not grow up like this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these guys. We don't really know yet because we didn't grow up like it. So I think the best thing we can do right now is put everything in balance and set the guidelines so our kids know what we see as something good or bad. And so then they can carry that with them. One of the other important things is just the age appropriateness of things. There's a lot of research, and I'm actually working on a course that I'm creating on technology with children that's going to be significantly more intense. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. But here's just like a sample kind of just being really cognizant of what your child is watching or what they're doing in regards to technology. And here's just a really basic slide of that. So under 2, the research shows that you should avoid media use with kids. They really shouldn't be doing anything with media under the age of 2. They should be just basic toys, playing on the floor, playing with the stuff they have. So of course the TV is going to be on, but under the age of 2, you should not be handing them your phone or an iPad. That should not be happening. Finding other things for them to do would be important at that age. Preschoolers, you can see they're no more than 1 hour of high quality programming per day. They don't even put in there the iPads or gaming or any of that. So I think that's something that I will definitely be talking about more in depthly as I do my course. And then the grade schoolers and teens, don't let media displace other important activities such as sleep, exercise, meals. Make sure you're scheduling a downtime in your family. We are going to have media use in our homes. It's impossible for that not to happen, but setting those guidelines, paying attention to what's going on in your house. And then all ages, be a media mentor. Really, really important to co-view things with your kids. I will tell you that the apps are confusing, right? And so like one of the things that I have done is I have Roblox on my phone and it's my child's account, right? So I can go on there and see what he's doing. I can look at, and he's little, so he's only 8, but I am making sure that I am trying to co-view, I'm trying to understand what he is doing so I can grow with him with the tech. I mean, as much as I do with kids, it is still really hard for me to even know everything that's going on with technology because it's constantly changing and it's really scary because we don't know and kids pick it up so much faster than we do. But I think the most important thing is just paying attention and doing it with them. And if you start at a really young age, it's not going to be any different to them as they get older, right? Because they're used to you being involved with their gaming. They're going to be used to you being involved in the TV shows and movies that they're watching. Finally, this is the family piece of it that I really wanted to share. And this kind of goes back to the other 2 challenge videos I did. Really, it's being organized with your day. If you have an organized day, if you're following a plan in your family and having those rituals and routines, you're not going to have time for a lot of the technology, right? You're busy, especially when the kids are little. You're doing stuff all day long. You're paying attention to what's going on. If you're involved with the community, if you're involved in a church or in sports or gymnastics or whatever it is that you're involved in, there's not a lot of that happening when you're busy doing that, right? Being active together, getting outside, managing the time. This is what we've talked about in the other challenges. And just keeping it simple, right? Just keeping it simple, paying attention to your time, being really purposeful and thinking about what you're doing in the moments during the day. And that is so hard for us right now because we are all so fast paced. But I think it's really important to take a step back. And if you are following these videos with me, really start a journal and thinking about how you're spending your time with your kids. How are you being the role model? How are you being the guide for them in life, right? So I think that's really, really important. And then I was just going to give you one tip that I like to think about when I think about giving kids gaming or iPad time. I always think of it as when they're little. Now, when they're older, it's a little bit different. When they're little, and if they grow up with this, it can be the same, but it is like cake, right? So I always think of the iPad as cake. And it's a privilege, right? Having technology is a privilege. If you're 16 and you have your own phone, that is a privilege. You do not have to have that. No one does. And so that's the cake, right? You get cake when you eat all your dinner, when you do all the things that need to be done. So if you're doing well in school and you're doing all the things that need to be done, and you're being respectful to your family, you can get the cake, you can get the iPad, right? But if you're not, right, if you are not getting your room cleaned up, if you are not following what needs to be done, if your grades are not that good, you're not doing your homework, you're not going to get cake this afternoon. There's no iPad time, or you're going to have to give me your phone for a couple hours this afternoon because I need you to really focus on what needs to be done with school. And I think you can do that with all the ages. Now with teens, it is harder. They need, if they do have a phone and they are involved, they are going to want to use it with their friends, and that is how they socialize. So I think it's really important to kind of know the boundaries with that. And so with the course that I'm going to teach, we're really going to get into how to put those boundaries in, how to grow with technology in your family, so you're not having this battle all the time and you're seeing what your kids are doing. And I guess, yeah, that's it. That's all I have for this. I just think it's really, really important to be paying attention to what's going on. And it goes back to the other two videos I made. It's what are you doing with your time? How are you organizing your day? Are you using a Google Calendar to organize your day? Do you have just your own calendar in a book? What are you doing to organize your day so you're paying attention, which then that'll give you time to pay attention to what your kids are doing with the technology. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.